police car, but he refused and started to drive off, dragging an officer with him in the process. Police say the suspect started to drive erratically, and about 2 blocks later, that officer was finally thrown from the car. Driver kept on going straight, though, onto Sullivan Boulevard, where he lost control and rammed into an Ogden officer's cruiser. After making impact, he traveled across the lanes and hit another passenger car that had a 59-year-old man inside. Police say at that point, the suspect tried to run but sustained critical injuries. Medical units got to the scene and performed life-saving measures, but the suspect had died.
Just got off of work and got out of my truck, and I heard sirens, and I heard children up here playing, so I ran up out of my house, out of my driveway up here to maybe yell at the kids to get them off the sidewalk. And just at that time, that's when there was a car moving about 70 miles an hour and just come down and hit the officer blocking the road. I was just shocked, more or less, but how quick they were about protecting those children and getting secure in that house where it all shook down. But I'm just shocked that it all happened.
During this entire thing, 3 officers were injured. Thankfully, it was all non-life-threatening injuries. They are receiving treatment right now at a local hospital. As for that 59-year-old man that was involved in the crash, he was treated medically on site and then released, so he's going to be okay.
All right, we see everybody knows about officers stopping you for speeding or this or that, and people may lose sight on how dangerous a routine traffic stop can actually be. Stephen, this is sadly not uncommon that a routine traffic stop goes sideways after the initial confrontation.
Well, routine is a misnomer. There's no traffic stop that is routine. That's a common phrase used by a lot of the media and the public, but in the profession, nothing is routine. You never know what that individual is going to do when you go up to them. You never know what type of situation they're in presently or past, if they wanted, if they've had a violent history. You don't know any of that when you're going up there. Most of the time, to be honest, you don't even know what color their skin is. I know that people will say there's a lot of racial injustice, but a lot of times on traffic stops, you don't know till you get to the actual door what race or nationality that individual might be. So there's a lot of unknowns as you travel up to that door. So nothing is ever routine. It's very dangerous. People go, why's the officer got his hand on his gun? Well, because he doesn't know. Reaction is much slower than action. That individual knows if they're going to be violent, they know what they're going to do, and the officer has to react. So that 1.5, 2-second delay that the officer has could mean his life or her life. So there's a lot of things that come into traffic stops. I'm sure Ted can add some more to that because they were in very high-risk situations, and he would have some more input on that.
Ted, yeah, your thoughts? Is there any such thing as a routine traffic stop?
Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop. It all depends on the person that you're dealing with. I've had school teachers that were very disrespectful and honoring on the way to school in the morning. And, it's amazing how sometimes people think that just because you're a cop and you're stopping them, that they deserve to treat you like you're less than a citizen. And even worse when these chases happen, because unfortunately, it depends on where you are and what the attitude of the person you're dealing with, especially somebody who's already a known criminal, has an outstanding warrant. You don't know these things until you come across them. And unfortunately, they do things to cause attention to themselves, like speeding or following somebody too closely, or just driving erratically sometimes. Being a DEA agent, following people who are trailing folks, trailing each other real close. It's obvious that they're doing up to something. And when you pull them over, you find out that everybody's got a gun. So surprises do happen, but there's no such thing as a routine stop.
Next story out of Detroit.